wondered if you could just vanish into thin air without leaving a single trace? Or what if you found a secret book written in a language that simply does not exist on this planet, and the more you try to read it, the more it trolls your brain? Welcome to the ultimate mind bend, because today we are diving deep into the 3 biggest glitches in the human matrix that science still cannot explain, even in 2026. We are talking about sky-high heists where the thief literally dissolved into the clouds, a mysterious dancing plague that turned a whole town into a deadly disco, and an ancient manuscript that has been laughing at geniuses for 600 years straight. Grab your popcorn and hold on tight, because reality is about to get very weird and very funny as we peel back the layers of these legendary mysteries that continue to defy every law of logic we know. 1. The ghost of the rainy sky. Would you jump out of a moving plane into a freezing thunderstorm with $200,000 strapped to your waist and only a parachute that might not even open? This is not a Hollywood script, but the cold, hard truth of November 24, 1971. Imagine a man named Dan Cooper walking into the Portland International Airport, looking like the most boring person you've ever met. He's wearing a dark suit, a white shirt, and a black clip-on tie, because apparently even legendary outlaws don't like tying knots. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle and sits at the back of the plane, looking like an accountant who's about to do some very boring taxes. He orders a bourbon and soda, because why not have a little liquid courage before you break the law? Suddenly, he leans over to the flight attendant and hands her a note. She thinks he's just another lonely guy trying to give her his phone number, so she just drops it in her purse without looking. Cooper leans in with a smirk and whispers that she might want to look at that note because he has a bomb in his briefcase. Talk about the worst first date ever. The flight attendant opens the note and her heart drops into her stomach while Cooper just sits there sipping his drink like he's watching a sunset. He demands $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Why 4? Because he's smart, and he wants the FBI to think he's taking hostages with him so they won't dare give him sabotaged parachutes. When the plane lands in Seattle, he gets his money and lets the passengers go, but he keeps the flight crew. He tells the pilot to fly toward Mexico, but to keep the plane low and slow. This is where it gets crazy, because somewhere over the dark and rainy woods of Washington State, Cooper opens the rear door. The wind is howling at 100 miles per hour, and it is pitch black outside. Any normal person would be crying for their mother, but Cooper just adjusts his tie and jumps. He disappears into the freezing rain and the void of the night, leaving behind nothing but his clip-on tie and 2 of the parachutes. The FBI spent decades looking for him using soldiers and helicopters and even submarines in the rivers, but they found nothing. Years later, a young boy found a few $1,000s of rotted cash buried in the sand by a river, but the man himself was gone. Did he survive the fall, or did he become bear food in the woods? Nobody knows. He is the only person in history to hijack a plane and vanish into thin air, and somewhere out there, a very old man is probably sitting on a beach laughing at all of us while he spends the rest of that bourbon money. Chapter 2. The Manuscript of Madness. Imagine walking into a dusty, sun-drenched library in 1912 and finding a book that looks like it was written by an alien who spent too much time watching earthly gardening shows while being slightly intoxicated. This is the Voynich manuscript, a 240-page riddle that has been trolling the smartest people on the planet for over 600 years. If you think your doctor's handwriting is bad, you haven't seen anything yet, because this book is written in a script that literally does not exist in any historical record. We are talking about curly, loopy letters that look like they belong in a fantasy movie, but carbon dating proves this parchment is from the early 1400s. Wilfred Voynich, a Polish book dealer, thought he hit the jackpot when he bought it from a Jesuit college in Italy. But little did he know he was buying a 600-year-old headache that would drive cryptographers to the brink of insanity. Let's go back in time to a medieval laboratory filled with bubbling potions and flickering candles, where a mysterious scribe is frantically writing. This person isn't just writing a diary. They are drawing things that defy the laws of biology. You flip a page and see plants that have never grown on this earth, flowers with roots that look like human teeth and leaves that seem to be breathing. You flip another page and find the balneological section, which is basically a 15th century version of a very weird spa day. It features dozens of tiny naked women bathing in green, interconnected tubes and pressurized vats that look like a medieval plumbing system designed by a madman. Is it a manual for eternal youth? Is it a secret recipe for a soup that makes you live forever? Or was the author just really bored? The comedy of this mystery lies in the fact that everyone from World War II codebreakers who cracked Nazi ciphers to modern-day supercomputers and AI models have tried to translate just one single sentence, and they have all failed miserably. Every time a professor claims they have solved it, the rest of the scientific community looks at their work and says, "Nice try, but that still makes no sense." Some people think it's a giant prank, a hoity-toity medieval scam designed to trick a rich king into buying secret knowledge. Imagine a con artist in the year 1420 sitting in his basement, making up a fake language just to get some gold coins from a gullible duke. If that's the case, he is the greatest comedian in history because he is still laughing at us from his grave while we spend millions of dollars trying to read his grocery list. The masala gets even thicker when you look at the astronomical charts inside. There are drawings of stars and zodiac signs that don't quite match our sky, suggesting the author might have been looking at a different galaxy or perhaps just had very bad eyesight. Some theorists swear it was written by an extraterrestrial traveler who got stranded in Europe and decided to leave a guidebook for his friends. Others think it's the work of a rogue monk who was trying to hide forbidden medical secrets from the church. Whatever the truth is, the Voynich manuscript remains the ultimate ungoogleable object. It sits in a vault at Yale University today, silent and smug, dared by the world to be understood. It's a book that tells you everything and nothing at the same time, making it the most beautiful and frustrating prank ever pulled on humanity. Final mystery is the ultimate dance till you drop story, and I mean that literally. This is the dark, bizarre, and absolutely true tale of the dancing plague of 1518. Chapter 3. The Deadly Disco of Strasbourg. Imagine you are walking down a narrow cobblestone street in Strasbourg, France, in the middle of a scorching July summer in 1518. Life is tough, the bread is stale, and everyone is just trying to survive the heat. Suddenly, a woman named Frau Trophea steps out of her house and starts dancing. No music is playing. No one is singing. She is just grooving in the middle of the street like she's at the world's most intense silent disco. Her husband comes out and asks, "Honey, are you okay? The cabbage soup is getting cold." But she doesn't answer. She just keeps spinning and jumping. This isn't a happy wedding dance. Her face is pale, her eyes are wide with terror, and she looks like she's being controlled by an invisible puppeteer. One day passes, then 2, then 6. Her feet are bleeding, she's sweating through her clothes, but she cannot stop. This is where the masala turns into a full-blown horror movie, because within a week, 34 other people have joined her. They aren't partying. They are screaming for help while their legs move on their own. By the end of the month, there are 400 people dancing in the streets of Strasbourg. It's like a medieval flash mob that went horribly wrong. Now, if this happened today, we'd call an ambulance or a psychiatrist. But back in 1518, the authorities had a very unique way of thinking. The town physicians and the local council got together and decided that the cure for too much dancing was even more dancing. You can't make this up. They actually built a giant wooden stage in the center of the city and hired professional flute players and drummers to keep the beat going. They thought if these people just danced the sickness out of their systems, they'd eventually sit down and have a glass of water. Instead, it turned into a marathon of death. People were collapsing from exhaustion, having heart attacks, and suffering from strokes while the band kept playing Staying Alive. Well, the 16th century version of it anyway. The comedy in this tragedy is how the church handled it. They were convinced it was a curse from Saint Vitus, so they dragged the poor, sweaty, half-dead dancers to a mountain shrine and gave them tiny red shoes to wear. Yes, because red shoes always solve a medical emergency, right? The mystery here is what actually caused it. Some scientists today think it was ergotism. Basically, the town's rye bread was infected with a fungus that has the same chemical properties as LSD, so the whole town was accidentally tripping on medieval acid. Others think it was a mass psychogenic illness caused by extreme stress. Imagine being so stressed about your taxes and the plague that your brain just snaps and says, "That's it, we're dancing now!" Whatever the cause, the dancing plague remains one of the most terrifying glitches in human history. It eventually just stopped as mysteriously as it began, leaving behind a city full of sore muscles and a lot of dead bodies. It reminds us that the human mind is the most unpredictable place in the universe. We've been to the moon, we've split the atom, and we have the internet in our pockets, but we still can't explain why a woman in 1518 decided to dance until her heart exploded. So the next time you feel like busting a move on the dance floor, just remember Frau Trophäa and maybe, just maybe, take a seat after the first song.